Alright, so this is basically kind of a rough tutorial on a basic animation on getting an enemy to track to you. This guy that I have right now, he only has one animation, and it takes a little more time to have multiple animations on an object, but I will make a video for after Christmas break on how to do multiple objects. So basically this guy is just running. So what I'm going to have him do is run in a loop, just like kind of back and forth this way until he gets within a certain distance of the player, and then he's going to break that loop and start chasing the player. And then after that, after he gets out of range of the player, he should go back to chasing this loop back here. So I'm going to do that. And again, from the last video, I'm going to press play, and you're going to see that he's just always got a run animation on him. So on his bones, I've got an always, so he's always running. Now this is different when you have multiple animations. So if you have an idle for a player who's just, or an enemy that's just kind of standing and idling, and then once he gets into a certain range of a player, I'll get into that after Christmas break, but this is basically just one animation. So he's not going to be cycling through animations, just him running. Now how I'm going to do this, also remember, I've got the character attached to the bones, or I'm sorry, parented to the bones, and the bones parented to the hitbox. The hitbox is what has all the logic bricks on it. For now, all the logic that is on the bones is just an always animation, which is running. So on the hitbox of the enemy, I've got a property of bad, and also I've got physics of character, actor. It's invisible, and it's box collision bounds. So that's what you need right here in terms of this, a property. And then if you want to set this up right now, I guess it doesn't matter. I'll explain all this in a little bit. We've got a near, and a steering, an edit object, track 2, and another steering. Alright, so what I'm going to do is create the object that this guy is going to be steering towards. Okay, I'm going to make it easy to see. I'm going to make it small so it doesn't interfere with this guy. And I've already got this going on in the background over here, and I'll play that in a little bit. Right now I'm going to add a material to this, make it easy to see. I'll make it hot pink. That's Tool's favorite color. And make it shadeless. So if I click off it, it should be easy to see. Very good. Alright, so this should have no collision on it, so it can't interact with anything. It's simply going to be going back and forth. Alright, and what I'm going to do is zoom in on it. I'm going to go into edit, and its forward is on the x-axis. It's forward motion. So what I'm going to do is extrude these polygons so I know which way this guy's looking. So when I start to add rotations on this, I know which way he should be facing. So now I'm getting out of edit mode, and here we go. Alright, now I'm going to go into the timeline. I'm going to make sure the scrubber is all the way to the left. I'm going to turn the recording on. Remember to turn recording off when you're done, or else you can start screwing a whole bunch of stuff up. Alright, go to the dope sheet, and I'm going to name this. This is my enemy number 2, and this is going to be called enemy 2 loop. So I'm going to add a new, and I'm just going to call it enemy loop 2. And here we go. To start off, I'm going to press, sorry, my mouse is up here. I'm going to press I to lock in the location, rotation, scale. So there's a keyframe for location, one for rotation, one for scale. And now I'm going to sort of eyeball this. If you really want to fine tune it, it's easy to move the keyframes around to speed it up and slow it down, as we did for the walk animation of the character. I'm going to take a drink of coffee. And Higgity Hines just came in the room. Alright, here we go. So I'm going to move the scrubber, let's say 30 frames for him to go from here to here. Should be okay. So I'm going to go ahead and press I and lock in the location, rotation, and scale. And now I wanted to take 10 frames for him to go about this far. And now I need to rotate it. It would be negative 90 degrees this way on the Z-axis. So I'll press so I can get these polygons to face this way. So when he he comes to this point and he turns this way. So RZ, let's see if I got it, -90, correct, enter. So you'll see he comes to the end and then he turns. He doesn't just face the same direction. But I probably want him to be faced that direction already at this point. So what I'm going to do at this point is do the same thing, RZ, -90, enter. So he's going to turn. Okay. And now, at this point, I'm going to have him go an equal amount from here, the same distance from here to here. So in this case, that was 30. So what I'm going to do is have him go right back down to here, and I'm going to click on this with the mouse so I know at least sort of where I need to be. Right over here somewhere. Okay, so 30 frames from this point down. I'm just going to go 30 frames on the x-axis. And I completely screwed that up. 70 would be 30 frames. And now I'll move it down to this point. And then I need to go right after this, and I need to, let's see, rotate it on the z-axis another -90. So R, Z, -90 again. And now he's coming down here. And I need to do the same thing here. So R, Z, -90, so he's still facing in the correct direction. And now, with my finger, you can't see it off screen, but I'm going to place my finger over this position right here, so when I move the object from here to here, I know where it's at. So my finger, you can't see, is off screen, and the amount of frames that it takes from here to here is 10, so from here to here, it's going to take 10 frames to get to this point. And then what I'm going to do in the end is delete this keyframe anyways and copy and paste this there. I'm just using this as a marker right now. So this will ensure that it is a 100% flawless looped animation. Now after this point, I'm going to again do RZ -90. Ah, crap. RZ -90 and enter. And he's going to rotate back. So all we have to do is, at this point here, I'm going to do RZ -90. RZ -90. I swear. You got to move your mouse up here, Midkiff. Alright, RZ -90. And now, I'm going to delete this keyframe here. Delete keyframes. I'm going to select this keyframe, Shift D, and move it over to frame 80. Alright. And now, I'll play it, Alt-A to see what it looks like. Alt-A. That's pretty fast. Now, if you're doing a character animation where this guy is walking, you probably want to go slower than that. I'm just going to slow mine down. So I'm going to select all this, move the scrubber all the way to the left, press S, and I'll extend it to be 100. It's going to slow down a little bit. It's still going to be pretty fast, but this guy is running, so Alt-A. Okay. So it should loop nicely. I'm going to go ahead and press the F and clear this off, and the most important thing now is to go stop the timeline and go back to the logic editor, and I'm going to set on this object always enact this action here, which is enemy loop 2, and it's going to be loop to the end, and it's always going to play, so it's 100 frames. Press enter, and then connect this. So we've got the guy going here. He might do a little funky turn at the end. That's alright. Alright, and this guy's always running. So what I'm going to do with this gentleman here is position him behind RZ -90. Whoops, I meant to do RZ 90. So RZ 90. Now he's facing the correct way. His positive motion is on the x-axis. So when he follows this, it's going to be on the x-axis. And now I'm going to explain what is on this guy. Alright, so when he is near my character, he is going to steer towards the character at this speed on his, let's say, this time is going to be this guy's x-axis, so I need to change this to x. It's positive. If the x was facing this way and his head was facing up this way, you would be negative X. But I'm just going to leave this on the screen here. You can tweak this stuff, distance 0.2. That means how close he's going to actually get. Once he starts running towards the player, he's going to stop once he gets that close. And the target that he's targeting, the player that he's targeting would be this guy here, which is my player, and he is cube 2. So I'm going to do the same thing here. And I've got an edit object, track 2, and I'm just going to click on this little thing right here and track on this. Now, I just kind of screwed around with this and got this to work. I'm not sure why I have a steering add an edit object without either one of these. They kind of move at a weird tracking rate. It just kind of works better with this. I can't really explain it. Over Christmas break, I'm going to get into it and screw with it a little more. You don't need to add a property here for the near, because he's tracking to this object. So once he gets in a range of this and this of this object, he's going to start tracking it. So what I'm going to do now is, what this says is when he is not near, which is when he's not near good, which is the property of my player, he is going to steer towards this guy, this little object here. Okay, so when he's not within this distance of this player property, he's going to track to target object being this sphere here. Okay, so I'll press Control S and see what happens. All right, I'm going to go into my character view. I've also got an enemy back here chasing this guy here. And what you need to do as well, I'm going to leave this on for now. But what you want to do is make this no collision and also make it invisible so you can't see it. But I'm going to leave mine on so you can see what he's actually tracking. Okay, so 0 to go into camera view. I'll press play. As you can see down here, he's chasing. So he gets kind of hung up down there. That's because the turn of my sphere is pretty tight. It turns direction pretty tight. What you probably want to do is make a nice oval turn. Mine is very 90 degrees. That's why he's getting hung up like that. I should go in there and fix that, but that's an easy fix. So as you can see what he's doing there. See ya, tool. What's up, Luke? So what I'm going to do here is get a little bit closer to see what he does. See if he comes at me. Yep, he's coming at me right now, and as you can see, my health is going, well, I don't know if it's going down or not. Yeah, it is. So let's go see what this guy does. Yep, he's coming at me too. So I'm going to press escape, and I'm going to turn on the physics so you can see exactly what's going on. So you'll see a giant sphere around this guy over here, and that'll be his near. That'll be the distance of 3. The reset is a bigger sphere at 5. So when I press play, the big box outside, the big box is the reset, and the sphere inside is the distance at which he's near, at which he's tracking the player. This might seem confusing, I know. I probably set it up in a confusing way, and I'm going to explain it in a confusing way. But all you have to do is go back to the point in the video in which I show you this stuff and set it up correctly. It's pretty easy to get to work. So as you see, it's a little glitchy at some points when he's running around and trying to figure out where my guy's at. So definitely have some bugs to work out. But for the most part, it works pretty well. So I'm going to go into camera view and see what happens here. I think that guy's probably not chasing me. Yeah. See, I got out of range, so now he's chasing the ball again. And down here, he's getting hung up on the curves too, because the object, the sphere that he's chasing, it turns in a very boxy way. So it's a very boxy turn. And now, yeah, to fix that, just make the turns a lot wider. And that's about it. So let's see what happens when I start going through here. He chases me, and now I'm out of range. I should increase the size of that, because he's really not following me at this point. Oh, here he got me. And you can tweak that, so I'm going to go over here and see what is going on. The inside cube is, I guess, his we need to change this to be the same as this. So I screwed that up. So you should see one set of boxes there. All right. Let's go down here and see what's going on. I had the wrong box selected. So this video is almost over. Click on this and I'll reset it to what it is up here. So 3 and 5, and you shouldn't see a giant sphere and a giant cube on the outside of a smaller sphere and cube. It should just be the same. There it is. Alright, now I'm going to go into player view and see if I can get this guy to start chasing me right away. Up, and here he comes. Whoa, 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 whoa. Gotta get out of here. Let's see if I can get this guy to do the same thing. Yep, there he goes. Oh no, oh no. Oh, and I'm dead. So that was why it was acting a little buggy before, is because this right here, I had the distance on when he's near me, right here, he is going to steer towards me at this speed, and he's going to come as close as 0.2 units, which is pretty much right up on me. And the near that I had down here was set at 1 and 3, I believe, or whatever it was. So that has to be the same as this, otherwise it's going to act very weird. And as you see, if I go into camera view and press play with the physics still on, you'll see that it works just fine. When I'm not inside of that giant sphere, he's chasing the ball. And if I go inside of it, he starts chasing me, and I need to get outside of that, and he'll go back to what he was doing. There he goes. Same thing with this guy. If I get anywhere near in there, he's going to start chasing me until I get right out of that. Whoa. And I got to get out. Now you'll see he's going back to chasing the ball. All right, that's it. It's pretty easy with one animation. Like I said, after Christmas break, I'll get more animations on that.